Hi, welcome to homework 5, Mean 632. This assignment requires us to basically develop and design a bench with certain requirements. So let's talk about each of the features that were requested as part of the assignment and how my design satisfies those. So if you take a look, this is the design. It's quite very simple and it ensures that all the requirements are met. So the first requirement was that it should be able to seat 3 people. And now this bench has a length of 100 inches and a depth or a width of around 27 inches. And it starts off at height of around 18 inches. Now these dimensions I got from basically considering the 95th percentile US male uh, uh, figures, which I can actually show here. So if you look at this, this says that the ideal posture for the 95th percentile American male involves an 18-inch height and a width of around 27 inches. This says 25.9 inches, but I considered some extra space in the back, so it's 27 inches. So that's how that meets the first requirement of seating 3 people. Then the next requirement was weight. So I ensured, so as per the prompt, this ensures that this can bear the load of 1,000 pounds, which is much more than the average 3 people. And so to do that, actually, one of the things that I kind of did was I used a single beam and I did some deflection calculations for this beam, and that's how I chose the cross section and the material, which I will talk about. Let me just pull that up. So here's the design documentation that I kind of made. So if we go here, so yeah, this is the deflection calculation I used, because this is simply supported with the uniform loading. So this is the deflection calculation I used, and this is a table I made by using that particular calculation, and I considered 2 common materials that are widely available and in which structural members are easily obtained very easily. So one is aluminum 6061T6. It is non-corrosive, it is strong, it has a high Young's modulus, and also it's easily available in the market in various sizes and various shapes. So in terms of manufacturability as well as in terms of strength, that was one of the easier choices to make. So and then the other was again ASTM 36, which is a steel, again, which has very high Young's modulus. It's widely available in different shapes and forms. So out of these 2 options, so I used the deflection formula, and as you can see, the Young's modulus. This is all data I got from different sources, which I'm going to mention as references in the document that I submit. So the length, so the length is again a requirement that I kind of got off of this. So this particular measurement. So this here it says the shoulder to shoulder measurement is around 24.5 inch. So I went for 3, that's 75 inch, and then I decided that I wanted some extra space for people to be able to keep some luggage, you know, and have a little more room to stretch out. So I went for a 100-inch length. Um, so based on, so now that my 100-inch length was decided, I wanted to decide which member to use. And so for that, I used this table. And as you can see, I was getting lower than I was getting less than 0.2 for almost all of these different members, which is, this one is the rectangle 4x2 member. This is a C-section 5x1.25. This is a square section 3x3. But out of all the different possible scenarios, I found that this aluminum has its own advantages in terms of keeping it making it street ready, because it's non-corrosive by nature and it's easier to treat. And but also the 4x2 rectangle cross section beam has the smallest cross section area, so it will probably take up less space than the other options. So with this in mind, so that's how I chose the material and the beam. So no, once I did that analysis, I knew that a 100-inch beam can take the load of 1,000 pounds. Um, and so I wanted to reduce the number of legs, so I just used two supports here again to make sure that the number of different types of components used is minimized. I used the same 4x2 um, rectangular section made of aluminum 6061 everywhere, except for here where I used a C section just to, and these are welded together, and I made sure that I can anchor them, anchor the chair to the ground using heavy hex nuts. So, well, yeah. So I provided these ribs. I used gussets to provide this kind of ribs that make sure that even though this is so these particular members or bars are supported, and most of the weight is carried on to the central beam which holds most of the weight. And as observed here, the for this particular case, the 100-inch AL6061 and 4x2, you see that the deflection, maximum deflection is itself is much less than zero point 0.2, which is what was the requirement. So I have some room there to play with, so that's a good thing. And so I made sure that I added gussets for structural integrity everywhere wherever possible, here and here. And so here I have an angle of 105 degrees. Again, this is an ergonomics feature because you don't want the user to be sitting upright on it if they are going to use it for more than 60 minutes. So I made sure that there was a small 10-degree angle here, and also made sure that there is good shoulder support. This this particular chair supports until the shoulder, and also there was good back support here. And to ensure that it's easily, it doesn't have any debris and everything, I made sure that there are half-inch gaps between each of the members, so that whatever water, debris, leaves, etc., whatever is there, whatever falls on this chair, it easily is drained out. And so again, for the same reason, there's a huge gap here. um, and I deliberately avoided putting any armrests or any other thing because I wanted to maximize space. Because let's say if there's only a single user, and they might even be able to stretch out a little bit and put their feet on top of the base, or they might have a lot of luggage. So I went against the idea of putting any armrests for that case, because anyway you have a nice angle, and also the height. I made sure that the height is ideal, at least for the 95% male. So that in mind, those are the constraints. And so the weight of the particular member, as you can see, is around 300 pounds, which is on the higher side. I agree. I think it's on the higher side, and then maybe there's some improvement that can be done. But again, it was a compromise between either choosing weight or choosing manufacturability, because as you can see, I use the same particular member everywhere, which is probably not necessary. Like I could replace these with smaller members that probably weigh less. But the issue was, I think, at least for things like this, you would probably, buy a tube, or 6061 tube, 4x2 tube of like a large length, and then just cut them into different sizes and weld them together. So it makes more sense in that way in terms of manufacturing to have the same component. And so for that reason, I went for the same, and that's why probably the high weight is a little higher. And but another again, uh, aspect is that because it's going to be fixed to the ground anyway, the weight is not really going to play as much of a role as the manufacturability does. And so with that, okay, let's look at the welds. Okay, yeah. So I have a quad. Actually, I wanted to mention this. So I used quarter-inch welds throughout, but because the plate thickness is less than is quarter-inch, and according to AWSD 1.1 standards, which I kind of went through at a later time, I see that I should have used probably a 1/8 inch weld, which I could go ahead and change, but it's just like I put more than, like, if you observe here, yeah. So there's more than 125 welds that I've put on this. It took a lot of time, and I really don't think it's feasible or it adds any value for me to be go ahead and change every weld to 1/8 inch. Because I already know that that's the case. I am going to mention that in the report that I submit, but also I'm just mentioning it here. So that's about the welds. And so like the different, almost all of the areas are welded. Like for example, you can see the weld beads here and here, and everything is, all these are welded together. The C section is welded to the, you know, the member. This member is welded here. Here there's an interesting weld where, because there's a cutout here. So that's again interesting. The gussets are welded together. Everything is welded in place. So that's the discussion regarding welding. And yeah, I think that about covers the entire assignment. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.